When Thomas Jefferson and others penned the American Declaration of Independence in 1776, he wrote that all Americans should have the right to the pursuit of happiness. This wording suggested that happiness is something external to ourselves, something that's meant to be chased after, and that's how most people see it to this day. Perhaps you think happiness will come with that promotion or that new house, or perhaps when you're finally in that perfect relationship. But once we get what we're seeking, we immediately set a new, I'll be happy when goal. It's a never-ending cycle. Actually, this type of mindset is all wrong. Happiness isn't something to be pursued. It's something we can choose to have right now, no matter what life is like. Let's examine 6 of the best ideas from the book The Gap and the Gain, The High Achiever's Guide to Happiness, Confidence, and Success by Dan Sullivan with Dr. Benjamin Hardy. Here's a wonderful quote from the Gap and the Gain review before we dive in. By continuously learning, you'll be enabled to do what your former self couldn't do. You'll be able to create what your former self couldn't create. You'll be able to have what your former self couldn't have. If you enjoy these types of book summaries, please be sure to like and subscribe to our channel. Keep watching until the end for some great action steps toward success. Best idea number 6. Take ownership of your own happiness. Many high achievers struggle to adopt a gratitude-based way of thinking. They believe that they have to make themselves miserable in order to become motivated. Here's how their thinking goes. If you're too satisfied with your life, you'll have no desire to succeed. But that's not true at all. In fact, numerous studies have shown that when you're in a positive frame of mind, you actually perform better. You have more confidence, you think more creatively, you become better at adapting to changing circumstances. When you're feeling stressed and negative, on the other hand, you go into survival mode. This kills off any creative lateral thinking. You also stop having fun at work, and your internal motivation dwindles. We're likely to become more successful when we stop needing to win in order to feel happy or fulfilled. Success means that happiness becomes intrinsic. Here's that big idea again. Take ownership of your own happiness. If you look for happiness outside yourself, you're giving away all your power. Life becomes a treadmill of constantly hustling to get the things you believe you need. But you don't need anything or anyone else to be happy. You can choose happiness right now by learning to appreciate your life just the way it is. Number 5. Stop comparing yourself to others. Have you ever scrolled through social media only to feel intensely jealous of your friend's amazing tropical vacation or your cousin's unbelievably expensive wedding? Then you're behaving exactly how the creators of platforms like Instagram and TikTok want you to. Social media is designed to make you constantly compare yourself to other people. Its purpose is to create the sense of FOMO, fear of missing out on all the things you think the others do. Why do social media sites do that? Well, because if you feel like you're missing out or your life is less than ideal, it's likely you'll start buying stuff in order to fill that gap. In other words, social media platforms manipulate your mental well-being in order to make you a more eager consumer. Here's that big idea again. Stop comparing yourself to others. The truth is that comparing yourself to other people is futile. It causes you to long for external symbols of success, like an expensive car or a huge house. But no purchase, however expensive, can really give you a true feeling of satisfaction. The only thing that can make you feel happy and fulfilled is living up to your own standard of success. But what is this standard? If you don't have an immediate answer, you're not alone. For most of our childhood years, success wasn't a personal decision. It came in the form of getting good grades or winning that championship trophy. In our adult years, we have a more realistic opportunity to become self-determined. You get to decide for yourself what really matters. Does your version of success look like having enough time with your family? Or is it about the flexibility to travel whenever you want? Next time a new job or other opportunity comes your way, ask yourself, does this meet the requirements of what I personally see as successful? If the answer is no, then the opportunity isn't for you, no matter how prestigious it might be. Number 4. How you see your life shapes how you live. Here's something you might not know. Your mindset has the potential to affect your physical health and even your longevity. The link between mind and body is well documented. Unhappy people are less resistant to viruses and take more time off work. Those who have a positive mindset, on the other hand, can improve their health with no behavior changes at all. Here's a recent study that's a good example. This study worked with a group of 84 women who cleaned hotel rooms for a living. Half of the group was told that their cleaning activities were good exercise which could improve their health. The other half, the control group, wasn't told anything at all. After 4 weeks, the group who'd received the positive message lost weight and lowered their blood pressure. The others saw no improvement. Here's that big idea again. How you see your life shapes how you live. When you perceive your life negatively, you're living in the gap. You become self-critical, you feel like your life isn't good enough. This has an impact on your body. It makes you chronically stressed, angry, and anxious. Over the course of many years, the effects of gap thinking will leave your body overwhelmed and run down. But there is an alternative to living in the gap, and that is to live in the gain. This means giving yourself credit for the progress you've made and seeing every experience as valuable. If you view your life in this positive light, it'll make you happier and healthier. But how do you start to actually live in the gain? That takes practice. To start with, enlist trusted people around you to serve as accountability partners. Their job is to let you know when you've slid back into gap thinking. And another thing you need to do is practice the gain mindset. You can do this, for example, by listing your achievements so far, or by thinking of all the things you're learning from an unpleasant situation. With time, a gain perspective will become as habitual as the gap once was. Number 3, don't forget to track your progress and celebrate your accomplishments. It's easy to forget your remarkable achievements because they soon start to seem normal. In fact, human brains are wired to forget. Once you've mastered a new skill, your brain allows you to use it unconsciously, on autopilot. Too often, you're not even aware that you're doing something new. That's why it's so essential to keep detailed notes of your progress. Actions like journaling allows you to record challenges you encounter and your solutions to them. Reading back through your journal allows you to appreciate the progress you've made. Here's that big idea again. Don't forget to track your progress and celebrate your accomplishments. Many people make the mistake of measuring their progress against a future ideal they have in their heads. But that's a recipe for disappointment. The future hasn't happened yet, so it isn't real. But the past is. Measuring your specific results against the past allows you to really understand how far you've come. Here's a great exercise for journaling. Think about where you were in life 10 years ago. How were you spending your time? What did you think was important? How has your life changed over that time span? Make a detailed list of everything you've achieved in that time. Make sure that you don't only include progress in wealth or relationships. Remember to also focus on how your mindset has developed. Were there stressful events that taught you valuable lessons? What were those lessons? Now, repeat that exercise, examining the gains you've made in the last 3 years, and even in the last 90 days. Doing these types of exercises will fuel your motivation and confidence, as well as clarify your path forward. Counting down to big idea number 2 from the gap and the gain. Use the last hour of the day to celebrate your wins and plan for future achievements. You might not know this, but the hour before you go to bed is one of the most important of your whole day. How you spend that time impacts your sleep and influences your productivity over the following 24 hours. But most people squander those 60 minutes, watching TV or scrolling through their phones. But don't be discouraged. With just a few simple changes, you can turn that pre-bed hour into a powerful opportunity to transform how you sleep and to better plan your days. It all starts with putting your smartphone away at least half an hour before bedtime. Instead, take out a pen and a sheet of paper and reflect on the day you've just had. Specifically, think of 3 wins from the day and write them down. Remember, these are your wins, nobody else's. If doing laundry is usually an obstacle for you, then washing a load of clothes is definitely a win. When you've listed your day's achievements, think of 3 wins you want to get tomorrow. Here's that big idea again. Use the last hour of the day to celebrate your wins and plan for future achievements. This simple practice will transform your days and your nights. Capturing your wins for the day puts you in a gain mindset and boosts both your confidence and your sense of well-being. This makes for more peaceful sleep. Clearly articulating your goals for the next day allows your brain to start processing them subconsciously, so you wake up feeling a sense of purpose. Instead of merely reacting to whatever comes your way, you'll have a clear, actionable plan. This practice also trains your mind to look for gains throughout the day. If you learn to focus on the 3 wins, your brain will automatically start looking for more and more achievements. That'll boost your confidence and give you more energy to continue pursuing your dreams. Keep at it, and soon getting out of bed will no longer be a challenge. Instead, you'll be eager and ready to start achieving the day's big wins. And big idea number 1 from the gap in the gain. You can turn any seemingly negative experience into a gain by reframing what happened to you. Psychological flexibility is the ability to manage your emotions and proactively shape the meaning of your experiences. This trait is what allows you to bounce back after a setback. Instead of becoming stuck when things don't go to plan, you can accept what happened and find creative new ways to reach your goal. Not everyone's born with psychological flexibility, but everyone does have the capacity to develop it. This journey starts with taking ownership of everything that happens to you, good and bad. You can't control the entire world around you, but you can choose how you respond to it. Here's that big idea again. You can turn any seemingly negative experience into a gain by reframing what happened to you. Dan Sullivan, one of the co-authors of The Gap in the Gain, created a powerful exercise in his coaching practice which he calls the Experience Transformers. It's a thought experiment that allows you to reframe what happens to you. Sullivan suggests that you answer these questions. What did you gain from this experience that could help you in the future? What do you want to do differently next time? And what are you grateful for? Answering these questions gives you the space to process the experience instead of running away from it. And it empowers you to create your own narrative about what happened to you. You'll be able to face the world head-on and choose what you want to take from it. Here's some wrap-up ideas for this The Gap and the Gain book summary. No one needs to pursue happiness. You can choose to be happy right now. You can't measure your progress against a future ideal. Instead, measure your progress against your past and celebrate your enormous achievements. Practice gain thinking, and it will fill you with energy and motivation. Here are a few important quotes that conclude this The Gap in the Gain book review. If you focus on what you lack, you lose what you have. If you focus on what you have, you gain what you lack. Don't let your past be forgotten. Always measure backward. Your happiness as a person is dependent on what you measure yourself against. Thanks so much for watching. Please like and subscribe to this channel for more book summaries from great leaders.